Welcome to the Project Mom Podcast. I'm your host, Emily Gorey, mom of a sweet baby girl and an ever-evolving entrepreneur. On this show, we will explore the intersection of motherhood and entrepreneurship. We will share stories of moms just like you and me with the goal of fostering community and comfort in knowing that we are not alone in our experiences. Please take a moment to subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to ensure you get all the updated episodes and releases. Welcome to the very first episode of the Project Mom Podcast. What could be more fitting than to start this journey by sharing my story with you all? So here we go. I'm a mom. I am a wife. I am a sister, a daughter, a friend, an individual on a journey of growth and expansion. I'm a trained salesperson. I am a woman with a passion or two or three, perhaps a challenger of the status quo. I ask why a lot, a questioner, a supporter. I'm a wanted to be vivid reader. And ultimately, I feel as though these descriptions can be endless and honestly ever evolving. But I'm first and foremost very excited to be here and a tad bit fearful of today because as you listen to this and other episodes available through this project, my fear of vulnerability is coming through. That the vulnerability is coming from taking down these walls and sharing my most inner thoughts around motherhood and my experiences. It is ultimately that same vulnerability that is shared with me and trusted to me from these other women that you will hear from in future episodes who have taken a step forward to share their stories with the world, all in hopes that we can lift up even just one other woman in her time of her own fear. So ultimately, Project Mom is this passion project for me, this inspiration that came from personal experiences during the first year of my daughter's life. That year was very powerful and full of growth and change, a lot of it really raw and challenging. And it felt as though I was just being told what I wanted to hear. All of this is normal. Emily, you are not alone. This shit is hard. But it wasn't until I heard the story of a stranger that fully resonated with mine did I feel as though I was not alone in some of these feelings. With that innate knowing came a desire to share our stories with others who may find a sense of comfort and support from them. So here I am today, breaking down those walls that keep us from one another, that keep us from truly seeing the connections that we have with others in this stage of life. And it was that rude awakening for me when my life didn't find its way back into the normal rhythm it once had when my daughter was born. And I believe that there's so many other women out there who feel the same and perhaps feel shame or guilt or isolation as well alongside that. So I want to tell you my story. Right now, I'm a stay-at-home mom working on this passion project. And while it could be, it wasn't that simple for a very long time. The day-to-day felt extremely overwhelming for me once my daughter arrived. I had a tougher recovery post-delivery than I anticipated. The mama-baby connection took a lot of time. I wasn't prepared for the body shifts, the hormone shifts, the mental, emotional shifts, and it wasn't talked about or shared with me ahead of time. And none of that is anyone's fault necessarily. Honestly, I don't expect this from our OBGYNs, and maybe we should, but it wasn't something that I expected. And I don't have that many friends with kids who would feel comfortable coming to me with some of these possible realities. And maybe they didn't have some of these possible realities, right? Who knows? So as I sit here recording this, I'm finally feeling something that resembles normal. And to be honest, I'm not sure I want to go back to the me that I was prior to my daughter's birth, but I was looking for the me that felt seen, that felt heard, that felt loved. And those are the things that I was getting externally. And I can see that now, right? I was depriving myself of that validation that I was already enough. It is from my own personal foggy memories, but I don't quite recall being shy about my frustrations around, the expectations placed on me, from society and, some of those expectations that were left unspoken. The one where the woman is expected to stay home. It is her duty to be the primary caregiver, the one that feeds and nurtures the baby, tracks their patterns, makes sure the doctor's appointments are taken care of. I mean, at least that was my experience in this traditional and quite privileged role that I occupy. And I honestly recoiled at that. I was angry, frustrated, belittled, unworthy of freedoms that were once afforded to me. The ones where I could come and go as I please, where I could strive and focus on my own personal career, make my own money, support myself. And at the end of the day, right, those expectations of me changed. I was expected to be home to support this family in other ways. It felt like a corner I could not navigate out of. And there were very blinding moments of anger for me that this was it. I should just accept it. And I felt very alone. And the comfort from those around me was there, right? All the right things and truthful things were being said. This is hard. Your life has changed. These frustrations are all normal. You are not alone. And while those are true, I could not hear it. I did not believe it. I believed that they were lying to me, just telling me what I wanted to hear because I was weak or fragile. I was coming undone at the seams. Now, I recognize now that there is probably some level of diagnosis around postpartum depression or anxiety. I did not have those diagnoses for lack of speaking with someone who can help identify that. But I look back on it now and there's a level of understanding around where that was coming from. Why did I have those limiting beliefs? Why did I have those concerns that people were lying to me? And I look back on it and I had placed a level of worth on being a provider, a maker of money. So a distinction here, right? A maker of money, which makes the world go round. There's this prevalent narrative, at least in the world in which I walk, that if you make the money, you have the say, the voice, the vote, the ability to make change. So you can imagine, as I'm sure some of you are having these stories as well, the story that persisted internally for me, that when I had a baby who needed me constantly and just their sheer presence took away my identity and the path that had afforded me validation and praise from those around me, I come second now. That is what I believed. Anyway, my role became making sure others were taken care of, right? Is there enough food in this house? Has everyone eaten? Is my baby, my husband, who has to go back to work, sleeping enough? Are they supported enough? Do we have clean clothes? Have we bathed? Have I shown affection to my loved ones, to my baby, to remind them of my love? So much pressure. Yet while I was doing the best I possibly could, it did not feel enough to me. There were still people asking me if I was okay, to take a break. I looked fragile. And I was reminded that it was okay to not be okay. Yet deep down, I didn't believe them. It was that story of a stranger that I had mentioned earlier who I had never met. I don't even remember the name of this stranger who had the same struggles as me. How could that be? She never heard my story, so how could she be saying the things that I really needed to hear? It's because I wasn't alone. I have to say the relief was almost unbearable. I'm pretty sure I cried immediately on the spot. The sheer weight that was lifted was very physical and real for me. There was this innate knowing that I was okay and that it wasn't just me. This journey is hard. And the way we see ourselves changes. And to hear that somebody else experienced that was exactly what I needed to hear. And it became a little lighter day by day. And there is hope, right? That I can still find my identity within, that I can listen to my own truth and be whoever it is that I want to be alongside being a mom, a wife, a sister, a daughter. It now feels safe for me to say that I have a desire to start my own business. It feels safe to say that, yeah, I don't have the clarity yet on what or how that will take place, but that I trust that it is coming. And when I create the space for it, inspiration will come. I believe that now, and that belief is worthy of being present. So here I am under the light of day, a good night's sleep or 2 or 3, I will give you that. There are no rocks left on my chest to weigh me down, that I find comfort in knowing that I'm not alone, and that it was the sharing of someone else's story that helped me float. So here we are, just one story, my story, and I hope you find comfort in it at the very least. I am honestly very blessed to have the support of a wonderful partner and family close by for those moments where it's just not possible to do it alone. And I recognize that many of us don't have the village they say it takes to raise a kid, yet we are expected to have it all together. So to you, I say that this too shall pass. It is hard, but time will pass and you will find the strength and the clarity on how to give yourself the help you need and deserve. I am grateful to have a sister who is at the same stage as I am in motherhood and in life. We're both heading into the 5th year of marriage with our partners and wonderfully have baby girls 5 weeks apart in age. And while we are physically thousands of miles apart, I am grateful for technology as it allows us to bridge these days together. And there may be some critics out there who say you can't have it all. But I really ask genuinely, why not? If it can be simple, what would you want? For me, the basics are easy, right? Those basics are easy. A loving husband, kids for whom I get to be a stay-at-home mom, a job that allows me flexibility to do just that and contribute financially to our household. I want to be a role model for my kids and live the belief that if you stay true to yourself, you can absolutely accomplish what you set out to do. Believe that that or something better is coming. So I welcome you all to listen alongside me as we hear the stories of strangers that are very eerily similar to our own. And throughout the next couple of months, I will also be putting out some solo episodes around topics that intimately affect our lives as mothers, as caretakers, as providers, and share with you all my questions, my curiosities, and quite possibly my frustrations around the way that these topics are integrated into our society and its expectations of us. So I hope you'll join me, as you walk that sweet baby around the block for the 1,000th time, hoping that they fall asleep, or as you're in your car to and from daycare drop-offs, as you fold laundry, do the dishes for the millionth time today. I hope you'll join me. And if you have any thoughts on episode topics or want to share your own story, please email me at projectmompod@gmail.com. You can also check out our show notes for the link below. Thanks so much for listening to today's episode. If you liked what you heard, please help us out and leave a review wherever you listen, and consider sharing with your friends. If you're interested in learning a bit more about the project or want to share your story, please visit our website linked in our show notes below.